All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Surviving His Sex Addiction and Betrayal show. I'm Jenni Rochelle. For those of you who don't know me, I am a life coach and spiritual director for women who have discovered that their husband is a sex addict or that he has betrayed them and they're experiencing betrayal trauma. I'm in Austin, so hi from Austin. If you're watching live or on the repeat, please say hi and tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know where audience members are all around the world. Today, as I mentioned in our promo, we're going to be talking about boundaries. Everybody loves boundaries, right? They're so sexy and exciting and fun to talk about. Just kidding, they're not. But the question that I posed was, what is the number one way that you know you need to set a boundary? It's really easy. You're angry. That's it. If you're angry, anytime you find yourself angry, pissed off, resentful, most likely you have a boundary that has been violated, or you know you need to set one. And the tricky thing is sometimes you can have a boundary in your head that's sort of covert, but you haven't overtly expressed it to someone. And this is not just true for your husband who's a sex addict who's betrayed you. This is also true for everybody in your life. I find especially to be true with my children, right? I find that I'm really angry with them. Like, let's say if I'm angry and it's the middle of the afternoon and I'm mad because I'm driving like food to my kid at high school because he forgot his lunch money or something like that. But see, I shouldn't really be mad at him. Really, the boundary that I need in that is for me to say, I'm not going to do that. Like you're however old you're a teenager, not even in high school, you have to be responsible for taking care of feeding yourself at school. I give you the money, I give you things. So in that case, the boundary is really about what I'm prepared to do. And so that's like the tricky thing about boundaries, right? Boundaries are a request, generally a request that we make to someone to either stop or start a particular certain behavior. So if we bring this back to talking about, your husband who's a sex addict who has betrayed you, you might make a particular request. Like one obvious one would be, stop seeing the person that he's been seeing, or stop engaging in the particular form of addictive or acting out behavior in his addiction. Stop doing that. And then he either has to agree to it or not agree to it, because boundaries are only effective, they only work if there's an agreement, a commitment by the person that you make the request from, that he's willing to do that. Now, on the flip side of that, so now he has a boundary that you made a request, ask him to do or not do something. The most important part, though, is your agreement also to hold that boundary and to set a consequence if he is not able or not willing to keep his commitment or even agree to that boundary to begin with. So what are you going to do if he says no? What are you going to do if he says yes and then violates the boundary? And this is really important because, like we're talking about kids again, you would never make a false or empty threat to your kid. Like this parenting 101, don't say that you're going to do something that you're not 100% willing to do. So if you set a boundary, let's take a different example. Let's say, okay, you want him to start seeing a certified sex addiction therapist, or maybe you actually are so far down the road, you want him to go into a treatment facility. If he doesn't do that, what are you going to do? If you're not really ready to say, I'm going to hire a lawyer, I'm going to get divorced, don't make that statement yet. Don't make that false promise until you're really, really ready. Don't lock yourself into a corner either. Make sure you have some flexibility when you set a boundary. And make it clear that you're able to change that boundary or change the consequence depending on like the nature of the circumstances, because things are never black and white. They're never easy in this. And also, I just want to give you a break and say that if you have said, if he does X behavior, if he cheats again or lies again, or you catch him with porn again and you say, I'm going to leave you, and you don't, that happens. It's really, really common because it's really, really hard. And we think we have a bottom line behavior, and then it happens, and maybe we're just not ready to just let go yet because our heart's not ready, or our head's not ready, or there's a million different reasons or values that we have that put us into conflict. So I just want you to give yourself a break if you found yourself in that position. Okay? And generally, It's Christmas this week. So just my daily advice to you is just give yourself a break about everything, and try to relax a little bit, and know that boundaries are really important as we come into the holidays with family, with your husband, with your children. So anyway, want to wrap all of this up. I thank you for joining me today. Key takeaways today. Again, our key takeaways are: number one sign that you need to set a boundary is that you're angry or you're resentful. And two, boundaries, the reason why they're so important is they allow you to create safety in your relationship. And they're also the fastest way for you to determine whether or not your marriage can be saved. And if you want to know more about that, then please go over to sexaddictionguidebook.com, download my free guidebook, Surviving His Sex Addiction, Betrayal, Trauma. We'll tell you all about why boundaries are so important for you right now. Until then, I'll be thinking about you and holding you in my heart. Bye-bye.